All right, this is lecture one, cybersecurity and terrorism. Cyber terrorism. I'm going to go over this pretty quickly because it's quite large because you really need the second one. Basically, cyber terrorism is out there. People are getting hacked into all the time now. Imagine if all this stuff happens. The stock exchange gets hacked. The airlines get knocked off. Oh, who's calling me? Hush. Email services fail. All this can happen. It actually happened in 1997. Tell the stupid watch to be quiet. Okay. Happened in 1997 during an NSA simulation. We had Dr. Shinoy here in June. He actually came from my Gen Cyber class, and some of the stuff he told, all the stuff he's working on is just amazing. He'll probably come down again this year and speak to students at one time or another. So if you ever get a chance, if I ever tell you Dr. Shinoy's coming, you really, really need to show up for that. It's just amazing. I'm actually going up there this Friday with 3 students. We have a new scholarship. Who is on the call Friday or on the meeting Friday? Just you? Yeah, and just you. Okay, we have a brand new scholarship that actually pays for your school and pays you $22,000 a year. Kind of cool. Better be awesome with like A's. So if you're interested in that, think about it. But okay, so let's continue on. America is vulnerable. Think about it. I mean, well, okay, I can't go into that. But yeah, it's vulnerable. Look at the stuff's going on with the election. That's all I can say. Do you actually believe any of that stuff? Okay.
It's like a line from that crypto book. If you knew what I knew.
Yes, exactly. We have a very large infrastructure. A lot of people want what we have until they get here and then complain what they have. So it says we let everybody in. You know, actually, they asked that question. My degree program is open enrollment. What that means is anybody can get in. But it doesn't mean everybody will pass. But the point is, you know, America, we let people in, which is a problem. Military spending, look at how much money we spend. Okay? We actually spend quite a bit of money. Okay? Cyber attacks, it says China has recognized the importance of cyber attacks or cyber operations as a tool of warfare. Dr. Shinoy's program has now been designated as what's called the Cyber Readiness Unit for doing this stuff. He's actually got a project where they are trying to break into power meters. Did you know in the United States, do you know how many power meters are produced every month? 1,600. That's it, nationwide. What happened if 100,000 of them got taken offline? Take a long time to get them back online if they're only producing 1,600 a month. Just amazing some of the stuff they're doing out there. You know how the iPhone is pretty much unhackable, pretty much? What about the watch? What if you can break into the watch? Doesn't the watch have a direct connection to the phone? That's what they're working on that too. It's just some of the stuff they're working on is amazing. And you don't think foreign governments are doing the same thing? You know they are. You know. Okay, it says China is targeting the U.S. government's commercial computers for espionage. Okay, it's happening all the time. Okay, here's a picture. This is a few years ago, but if you actually read it, this was basically you would select your target and say hack, and it would basically break into it. Okay, I mean, anyone ever heard of Metasploit before? So if you haven't heard of Metasploit, Metasploit was a tool used to look for vulnerabilities in the system. Well, obviously, if you can find vulnerabilities, you can exploit the vulnerabilities. It's an awesome tool, and you'll be using it in the security auditing class once you get there. It's amazing. So, lots of stuff's going on. Everything is made in China nowadays. You all notice that? I was at a conference in Tampa, Florida. The FBI director was speaking, and he said, I'm no longer allowed to have an online bank account because he fell for a phishing attack, and his wife told him, you will never get another account again. Because if you're the director of the FBI and you can't understand, you know, it's pretty bad. Okay, so pretty much, you know, I was also at that conference, and they were giving away these little things you can put on your belt. It was a tape measure with some Post-it notes and a pen and a little stupid, you know when you go to a conference you get that stuff. Made in China. How do we know what's inside of it? You don't know. You don't know. Okay, I bought a wallet. I don't know, this is years ago now. I bought a wallet, but every time I go into Walgreens, the darn sensors would go off. And I couldn't find it for the longest time. But way up on the inside, there was an RFID way up on the inside. And it only went off at Walgreens. So finally, after, I would say, a year or two of having that wallet, I was able to find, because I'd look everywhere, but only affected at Walgreens. So it wasn't like it was happening at every store. but you don't know what's in these things. Okay, look at that. China's even making snow now. So there you go. So they're making everything. So we have a lot of issues everywhere. Okay, what makes America economically invited? We have a very large middle class. I think it's going down, but it's okay. It says up of 300 million people, 250 million are middle class. In other words, we have a lot of money, and people want it. Okay, my wife, Virginia, some of you taking the IT class, ethics class, she'll tell you about it, but she got an email this morning from her aunt. Hey, Virginia, I'm currently traveling in the Philippines. I just had an accident. I'm in the hospital. I need some money. So what should she do? Delete the email. You know it's bogus. But how many people would fall for that? So what that probably means is her aunt's account got hacked. Someone got into her contact list, sent the email out to Virginia saying from her. But what if she had actually sent the money? There was a story like 2 weeks ago about a couple. You know how you get those Nigerian scam emails y'all heard about? Well, they actually had sent off $15 million. How can you get scammed out of $15 million?
Without being
I know.
I think it was in the room last time you mentioned it. Wasn't the accountant to a Nigerian princess?
Yeah. It's something like, oh, it's crazy. Oh, it's just.
How can you do that without being the government?
I don't know. It's crazy. Cyber attackers, we've got insiders. Insiders are a big deal. Okay? Think about it. I work at Rose State. I have access to a lot of stuff. What if I was a bad guy? Wouldn't it be the perfect position? Maybe you get a job, work there 5 or even 10 years just to get in the perfect position to exploit the system. They do it. Script kiddies are people who really don't know what they're doing. They download something and then do it. We got hackers, hacktivists. There's all kinds of cyber terrorists, friendly governments. Okay. During the Gulf War, it says Dutch hackers stole information about the U.S. movement of DoD computers and tried to sell it to Iraqis. Okay. Hussein thought it was a sting, but it was actually real. Okay. 1997, 98, the analyzer hired some California teenagers to break into systems. Just amazing the stuff that's going on in these areas. Okay. iPhone jobs aren't coming back. Why? Because they're too cheap to make them overseas. Everything's going over there. Pretty much everything. Because there's really nothing made here. Okay. So pretty much, basically, it says, the screen at the last minute, they changed it. In the U.S., could you possibly make a change that quickly, where you could redo your entire workforce? No. I take a lot of cruises. I took a cruise in Hawaii. I don't. Okay. The Norwegian Cruise Lines has a cruise ship, no, it's Norwegian, who basically just does the Hawaiian Islands. Okay. It's a U.S. cruise line. It has to be. It has to be a U.S. flag ship to be able to do just the Hawaiian Islands. But basically that means they have a lot of U.S. workers on the ship. Okay? Basically they work for 8 hours a day. People complain their cabins don't get cleaned. Because a normal cruise line, those workers work 12, 16, 18 hours a day sometimes. Think about it. They're there when you wake up in the morning, they clean your cabins, they're there in the afternoon, they're there at night when you go to bed. So the U.S., sorry to say it, we're lazy. We don't want to work. We work 8 hours a day and complain about everything. So
there's grandparents went on a cruise, or they go on a cruise every now and then because they enjoy it, whatever. Mm-hmm. They always say, if you get one that's hosted by a U.S. crew, it's going to go downhill.
Yeah, it's bad.
They're never as nice.
It's bad. And it's because what happens is you get these foreign people who want to make the money, who give you the service, where the U.S. doesn't. So, okay. Cell phones. It says Android is now the worst platform for malware. It always has been. Okay. It says Apple's iOS unaffected by malware. Why Android surges. I mean, these numbers change all the time. It's crazy. Okay. Mobile threats by platform. Pretty much Apple is none. Okay. You can look over all these slides if you want. But cyber targets, we have the internet, we have telephone, we have wireless, we have power grids, we have dams. I said, what would you think would happen if someone broke in to our power meters? Wouldn't that just, we're smart meter now, y'all realize. I mean, I assume we all have the smart meter here. Where OG&E no longer comes out to your house, they read it remotely. So, it's just amazing. How about banks, financial institutions? How many banks, there's the latest one they're just announcing now, is it? It's not mid-first. Okay, all kinds of banks are getting broken into if you haven't realized. Target, we obviously know Target. We know, do y'all know how Target happened? Y'all, the Target breach?
Contractor that left
HVAC, air conditioning contractor didn't secure their system. They came in through that way. It's pretty scary stuff the way people get in. I mean, look for any vulnerability, okay? All right, FAA, military, state and local government. There's a lot of stuff that's vulnerable, okay? Okay, targets, no, it's not. This is cryptography. All right. How about, we all seen Ocean's 11, 12, 13, whatever all those movies are. Remember the last one they did the big EMP? Yeah, that was a movie, but you don't think they could do an EMP in real life? Yeah, they definitely could. Why? It's not going to kill people. It's just going to take out electronics. Okay. Software, obviously a big issue. Data, people. Okay. Training people is a big deal nowadays. Okay. All right. Confidentiality. Okay. You're going to see these three words over and over and over in this entire degree. Somebody in here is going to miss them on the test. So in other words, these are on the test. All three of these are on the test. This semester, don't miss them. Confidence. Yeah, don't pick Central Intelligence Agency. It's not that one. I'm saying as they pertain to this course. Okay, confidentiality. Assets are available only to authorized parties. Only the people that should be able to see them can see them. In integrity, they haven't been changed. And availability. Okay. What's happened? Everything is done on the internet now. What happens if your internet goes down? You sit there and twiddle your thumbs. What do you think would happen in this building if our internet went down? Obviously, we wouldn't be getting enrollment done. Steve would be out of a job, at least for a day. I couldn't do any grading. I couldn't do anything. Okay? I had a student who messaged me, I'm sorry, I was not able to do my homework this week because I was on a cruise ship. So I replied back, well, I'm currently on a cruise ship grading your homework. No excuse. So, I mean, availability, you have internet everywhere now. Y'all see the news Thursday or Wednesday? No, it was Wednesday. Okay, Triple C? Yeah, here, let's look something up here real quick. I found this awesome website. Y'all need to know this website. It's pretty cool. It's called Google. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay, Triple C employee under investigation for changing grades. Ooh, isn't that bad? It just happened last.
Of course, it runs a video.
Yeah, there's a video on it, but I'm not watching the video 'cause it makes me. But what's that got to do with integrity? I mean, it's some bad stuff. I mean, look at all that. It's nuts. So it was actually an employee that turned in the supervisor because supervisors went in changing grades so they could get more grants. So what does that do for integrity? There is no more integrity. I actually had a student email me, said, hey, I'm 5 points shy of the grade I need. Could you change my grade? You know what I replied with. I'm sorry, I'm not okay, Triple C. I had to. I just had to do it. I just had to. But these are a big deal. You will hear these in nearly every class. So don't get them wrong. Okay. Everybody knows these three are. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. There's also non-repudiation, but that's not as big a deal at this point. Okay. Major threats, we have interruption. Okay. Assets lost. Unavailable. I can't get to it. I'm on a phone call and the phone call drops. It's been interrupted. Interception, maybe someone is listening in on my communication, someone's hearing what I'm doing, capturing my traffic. We do projects and all that. Modification, how about this one? A Florida high school students modified a probation officer's check-in number to a 900 sex line. Yeah. Okay. They got in trouble because they still had to report it, even though it was funny, but they couldn't report in. How about fabrication? Asset is counterfeit. It's not real. Okay. All those emails we're getting from our aunts in Nigeria or Philippines or whatever, Okay. Look at the amount of malware. Isn't that crazy? Look at those numbers of malware. Malware's everywhere. Okay. I get links to them all the time. People here at Rose State get it all the time. Okay. Password sniffing, bots, denial of service. There's just lots of them out there. Okay. A lot of stuff going on. Web server issues, laptop or mobile hardware theft. The Pokemon Go. People are getting killed or robbed, or people are saying, Because they're walking around like zombies staring at the phone and people running up to them and grabbing it. It's crazy. So, all right. Okay, again, some of these reports are a little bit old, but you can still see them. Cyber criminality is becoming more advanced and targeted. Obviously, we have computers that do everything for us nowadays. Okay, digital espionage is increasing. Illegal use of the internet. Civilian governments are becoming vulnerable. Everybody's getting broken into. If your company has not been broken into, it probably has. And if for some small chance that it hasn't, it will be soon. Okay, everybody will be hacked into. Everybody. I even keep telling them it's going to happen here at Rose State. You know it's going to. It's impossible to prevent. How can you possibly protect them? We got a secretary in the main office. The sweetest lady you would ever want to meet. No technology background. So what do you think is going to happen someday? She's going to forget to do something, or any of us. I've left my computer unlocked before. It's not good. Okay, privacy is under increased pressure. People complaining about everything. IT security is becoming more difficult. We don't have enough people. Okay. It says there's many initiatives but no coordination. Cyberspace is on the rise as the fifth domain of the army. What is Tinker? Cyber Command. Perfect. Okay. When I was a Tinker, when I retired, there was no such thing as Cyber Command. It was a ALC, Air Logistics Center. Okay. It says we can't live without information and communications technology. How many of you have Netflix?
No, that was a lie. I have something else.
How many of you don't have Netflix then? 3 of you? 4 of you? What do you guys? How do you live? I mean, you haven't watched Flip or Flop yet? Seriously? Oh, jeez. I mean, how many of you have no internet? We all have internet. Okay. Could you live without it? People get withdrawals.
I'd have to use my phone then.
There you go. Okay.
See, I would say yes, but then I realized all of my classes use the internet. So
There you go. They all use the internet.
Really.
Yeah, Rose State now requires a welcome message on every page, a syllabus on every D2L page, and everybody must use the grades book now in every class. So if your teacher does not have a welcome message, ignore that from my class. I haven't put it up there yet. And if the syllabus and grade book are not being used, you need to tell them to fix it because that's a requirement of everybody now. Okay?
I don't know. I'd say yours almost does have a welcome message. It's not so much as a welcome to the class, but you do have all your instructions.
Right. I guess there's an issue with some people logging into a class and like, I don't know what to do. So I need to say, hey, welcome to cryptography. This is not bio something.
Here's the spoon.
Yeah, go to click on content. And my name's Ken. Call me at this number. That's what I need to put on there.
Here's the spoon. Here's a diagram of how
Yes,
to break
exactly. But look at all the vulnerabilities. I mean, there's crazy vulnerabilities on the PC. Okay? Lots and lots of. Adobe Flash. Finally, it's going away. Finally. It needed, people, when Apple first got rid of it, first stopped allowing Flash on iPhone, everybody thought that was stupid. No, we were just being proactive because they knew it was sucking, okay? But Apple iTunes, QuickTime, Java, what's that, a daily vulnerability there? Look at that, okay? Extremely dangerous software flaws, Java, Adobe Flash, Adobe Reader, okay? Browsers, okay? 2003 Internet Explorer. 2002 Internet Explorer was number 1. What is it today?
2%.
That's 2005. Watch what happens in Internet Explorer. Ooh, 2010 drops off. Chrome's gaining speed. 2011 Internet Explorer is wow.
I'm honestly surprised at Firefox.
Yeah, Firefox, Chrome. Look at that. 2012 Chrome 46%. 2013, 52%. Okay, 24% or 59% for Chrome. I mean, that's crazy. We all use Chrome, don't we?
Now Internet Explorer should almost be non-existent since
Internet Explorer has a
Edge,
use.
right?
It does have a use. Its use is to download Chrome.
Well, not
Because you
anymore.
get a computer with Windows on it, you use Internet Explorer to download Chrome, then you're good.
Not anymore because the new Windows computers have Edge instead of.
Oh,
Internet
there you go.
Explorer,
Yeah.
so-
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I used to like Firefox, but when they kept updating so frequently and was causing issues, it's like, you can't update daily or weekly, whatever. They were updating all the time. It's like, you got to be a little more stable before you release some of these things. Okay. Why do a cyber attack? First of all, they're cheap. Easy launch. You can do them from your bedroom. Okay, remote controlled, symmetric, diversity, massive force multiplier. A lot of reasons you can do this. Okay. Okay. We have a pure cyber attack. There really hasn't been one prior to 9/11. And it's funny. I had a student, Chad King. He was a pilot, private pilot. And he actually went through training in Norman with some of the pilots from 9/11. Okay? So once 9/11 hit, shortly after that, they basically took him aside and says, okay, here's a plane ticket. If we call you and tell you to go to Washington, D.C., you go directly to the airport, get on I guess it was a any flight goes ticket or something, I don't know. Basically, if we call you and tell you to come, you stop what you're going to come right now. And don't tell anybody about this. So he said that night he went home. I mean, it's old news now, so we can tell you. But he said that night he went home and told his wife. The moment he told his wife, his phone rang, and they said, we said nobody. He's like, oh, shit. So
They bugged the ticket.
I don't know what they did. But literally, that same night, went home and told his wife, his phone immediately rang. We said, told you to tell nobody. Scary stuff. But, there's a lot of stuff going on. Combination attacks with natural disasters. Do we really think we know what's going on nowadays? We only hear a small portion of what's going on. The problem is, a lot of these big companies are getting hacked into, and they don't want people to know. Why? People stop going there. They will. I ran an internet service provider for many years, and one of my clients got broken into. We immediately notified OSBI, and literally his site was down for a few days. Big hassle. At that point, he says, I will never, never report it again. Because it's tough. It's too much work. It is. It's really bad. Okay. Combination attack. Okay. Blended attack. Imagine if a train derailed, releasing poisonous gas. That happened recently. Okay. It has happened. Imagine Al-Qaeda terrorists once again launch attacks on major cities. What's happening now? What are all these shootings we always hear about? They're all terrorist-based stuff. Earthquakes hit San Francisco. Now imagine if all this stuff happened at one time and the power grid went offline. Just this spring, Chad Johnson, who actually works for the NSA, a prior student of Rose State, by the way, went to TU, and he actually works at TU now at the Secret Service Lab. He's the NSA rep there. He went to Maryland, I think, in this spring, and proved that he could run arbitrary code on their 911 system. Which basically means without access, he was able to run software. That's scary stuff. Very scary stuff.
And for the power grid going down on all of this, it's actually scary when you think about it. Because those substations you see driving down the road,
Yeah.
that big fenced-in area, all it takes is one bullet or something like that
Hit the right
in one of
thing.
those tanks.
Yeah.
It drains the oil and they overheat, whole grid goes down.
Dr. Schmidt was telling us when we were up there maybe a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, visiting with him and some students, and he was telling about this new tasking he literally got the day we were there. It basically said to get a group of students together, they were going to fly them out somewhere in the United States to a remote location, and they are to break into this power system. They were authorized to steal 2 vehicles, exploit the employees, because the employees had been known to leave company documents in their cars. And it's like, wow, how would you like to you have the green light to go steal a car. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But this is the stuff he's doing up there. I mean, literally, he was reading it right there off his phone. Says you have permission to steal 2 vehicles. And it's like, wow, could kill anybody. Okay. All right.
I'm assuming not damage too much property either.
It's just crazy. Well, who knows? Okay. It says attacks on the internet. How about voice over IP? We all have voice over IP. We have a phone right here. Did you know you could run Kane connected on the same network, and any call that goes in and out of there is automatically recorded to an MP3? I use it in one of my projects. So, okay. There's just lots. The SQL slammer worm took down all kinds of people years ago, or quite a few years ago now. Just a lot of stuff going on. Okay, now managing risk. Harm, it says, occurs when a threat is realized against a vulnerability. Something has happened. We had a vulnerability, and now something actually exploited the vulnerability, caused harm. Risk is the potential. There's a risk I could trip on this cord right here. Okay. Control countermeasures, an action device to help protect that. Well, I don't really have much here, but something that's, maybe we have an antivirus in place to protect us from the risk of a virus attack. Okay. Methods of defense. And you're going to see these quite frequently in pretty much all of these will be on your test. Okay. Principle of adequate protection. Okay. They must be protected only until they lose their value. So if this computer loses its value, should I still be spending money to protect it? Not really. If it's not needed anymore, not being used anymore, why protect it? Okay.
$100 computer, don't spend $200 to protect it.
Right. Yeah. But it also depends on what is this computer doing. If this computer is processing critical data, then I would want to spend more money on it. Okay. Effectiveness. Controls must be used and used properly to be effective. If I buy a $1 million firewall and leave it with the default password, probably a bad idea. Okay. Must be effective use, ease and use. I mean, you go on Google and find all these default passwords. There's even websites that go out and tell you which websites are still using the default passwords. It's crazy. Okay. How about weakest link? Ever seen that show? Oh, that was a pretty bizarre show. Security is no stronger than the weakest link. Okay. My favorite is Rose State. We have holidays. And it never fails. I guess security doesn't get the word, hey, we're closed on this day. Sure enough, they unlock all the doors. They unlock. It's like people just walk in and steal stuff. We got a TV out in the hallway there. That's actually the second one. The first TV was put on the wall, and a really fancy $300 mount on it and everything. We went to a meeting. Came down, someone had walked in and stole the TV. We're like, where'd the TV go? And we found the bolt cutters right around the corner over here. Someone just broke the $300 lock, took off with the television. It's like, it's crazy. So you never know. And so what if,
Is that before or after we had all the new cameras put in?
Well, that was before. Okay. How about at your house? You got these awesome doors, but you forget to close them. Forget to lock them. Does anyone have kids at home and left the damn back door open? It's like, I got a new lock for my front door. It's a button lock. The best feature about it, auto locks after 30 seconds. I love it. Because you shut the door, you don't have to lock it anymore. It automatically locks. Unless it's not quite shut right. Then it's like, it makes this noise for 3 minutes while it's trying to shut. But I love it. It's awesome. Okay? So, some of the controls we can put in place to help us with this stuff is encryption. Obviously, we're going to learn about that in this class. We have software controls, hardware controls. What do you think would be better, a software control or a hardware control? So I'm trying to protect this computer. What do you think would be best?
Hardware.
Probably hardware. That would prevent theft. Software, yeah, prevent someone from coming into it. But, for this PC right here on this floor, I would probably say a hardware would probably be better. I don't know if it's still true. I haven't tried this. But for the longest time, back when we had a library, that thing that's not quite finished now, on weekends, this building and the next building over were locked. But the library would be open. So I was in my office one day, and a student walks out to my door. I'm like, how did you get in here? He goes, oh, it's easy. You just go in the library, go upstairs, and walk through all the hallways. Because the upper doors couldn't be locked for security. Because if you got into the breezeway, you had to be able to escape. So basically both doors always... Yeah, he goes, oh yeah, just go up to the library, walk all the way through the upstairs hallway, and come right down. I'm like, it's crazy. So what good is locking our door? Okay. So we got physical controls. Another one that's funny about that. Tinker a lot of times has the 4th of July celebration. Did they have it this year? Yeah, I wasn't there. Okay. But remember, for many years they did. It always amazed me how they would let the entire state of world into the base. How do they get them back out?
They didn't count them coming in. They don't know.
Exactly. How are they going to know? I mean, when I retired from Tinker, there was a period of time where the gate on the far side of Tinker was literally laying over for years. Over by Douglas, the gate was just down. You just parked over there and walk on through. So, policy procedures, we all hate them, but they're important. Password policy, computer usage policy, everything. Yeah, it's kind of important you have it, but it's also important you train people how to use them. Okay, effectiveness, awareness of the problem. You don't know you got a problem? Well, it's tough. Okay. How about likelihood of use? So, if if I leave this door unlocked, what's the likelihood that someone might come in and try to steal something? Well, we know what's happened in this building. Okay? Did y'all know there was some killings on campus? There was.
Is this the parking lot that they had the...
Oh, no, before that. Is anyone in security auditing this semester? Well, I put up a new thing they have to figure out, and I found out about a killing here on campus. I didn't know about it. So, yeah, likely did someone get killed on campus? I never would have expected it, but it has happened actually multiple times.
One over by the wellness center?
Yeah, no, it was before that.
Oh.
And we're talking back in 1999.
Oh.
Yeah, Wellness Center, that was just some dude running through.
I saw the video.
Yeah, but he was still shot on.
Yeah, I know. So, okay. How about overlapping? Maybe we're going to put an antivirus with a good password and the computer's locked behind their door. Obviously, that's a better idea. Okay. How about periodic review? Okay. Is it up to date? I mean, do you have the latest, greatest, whatever? They're saying by 2020 there'll be no more passwords. I kind of believe that. Because passwords are stupid. We can't remember them. We have to write them down. I mean, come on, I had passwords that are 30 characters long. Obviously, I can't remember those. My password into the NSA system for our grants has to be between 12 and 14 characters, so a very short window there. 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase, 2 numbers, and 2 special characters. Then plus a couple extra. But how are you going to remember that thing? You can't. Okay.
How often has it changed? 90 days?
I'd say about every 6 months.
Okay.
Which is good. See, I only go in there to update our grants, so it's like I only go in there once a year, so I got to change the password every year when I go in there. So
It's updated once a year, but
Yeah.
Webster has to update it more often.
So technical challenges, complex. I mean, things change. What I hear in the news just now that we finally got the point where there is more smartphones being released than there's a need for them, because they're being released so quickly. Okay. Theoretical limitations. Do you think what was it? I think it was in the 1800s. Some big inventor said, "That's it. We have now invented everything." Yeah, there was actually a quote from some guy out there. I mean, 1800s. How much we invented since 1800s?
But can everything we've invented since then be based off of?
Yeah. Well, how about stuff we invent this year? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. It's crazy.
But can we base
Okay.
everything we've invented since then off of everything?
We probably can at one point or another.
So,
but
theoretically,
Alexander Graham Bell, do you think he ever thought of being able to unlock your phone by looking at it? What's that, the new Galaxy Edge 27 or something they released this last week?
That too, but I wear glasses, so
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Well, the new one works with glasses. Casey, one of my students, showed me this weekend. It works perfectly with the glasses. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Okay. It says computer security is the holy grail. Will we ever get to the point where we are secure? There's no way. You cannot get totally secure. I don't care what you do, you'll never be totally secure. It's impossible.
I've been asked what's the best way to keep a computer secure. I unplugged
Unplug it, turn it off, stick it in a waterproof bag, in a safe, in a nuclear vault somewhere.
Go throw the safe somewhere in the ocean, nobody will find it.
Actually, Dr. Shnoy's students actually took an iPhone that had been immersed in the ocean for 2 years and got the data off of it. That's crazy. Who does that stuff? You know, it was funny because he has a Secret Service lab up there, and he was talking about how they first got started doing this. We had some grad students up there, and I guess the Secret Service had this guy admitted to a crime, and they had it on tape or on digital recording. They had it on a little handheld recorder. He admitted to the entire crime. Then he decided to change his story. They had the recording. It wouldn't play. What are they going to do? So one of Dr. Shinoy's students took this. His lab is what they call the lab of last resort, when no one can figure something out. So he took this recording device, bought 2 more, started playing with one to figure out what the heck it did, and found that it could actually move the ROM chip from the one with the recording, replaced it into one of the new ones, and it played perfectly. So who would have thought about doing that? So it's just some of the stuff they do is crazy. Okay, but complex evolving, computer security is never going to happen. Okay, law and policy says law and public policy cannot keep pace. They can't. Things change too fast. Okay. Did you know, I was actually talking to, I don't know, whoever's there Friday, but had that cop in there. He was saying that you can talk on your phone while you're driving, but you cannot interact with the screen in any way. Well, you cannot push a button to answer it or hang it up, but you can talk on it. It's crazy. How are you going to answer it? See, I can text without my hands. I can do, hey Siri and all that stuff. Hopefully it doesn't go off if it gets. And
A lot of times you can use voice control to
yeah.
answer it.
Right, you'll have to.
Hang
You
up,
have to use voice
rely on
control
the
to
other
answer.
guy.
'Cause it's like, wow, how are you going to do that? Okay, but investigation enforcement's difficult. First of all, you have a problem. People aren't trained. Degradation, or I'm sorry, not deregulation. Things are changing in the phone industry. How about open source versus shrink wrap software? Which one's better? I say they're both good, and they're both bad. Okay. Economic policy. It depends if you're a Clinton or not. So, all right, personal challenges. The IT industry needs about 1 in 10 employees to be trained. Yeah, you do. U.S. government has a deficit of 100,000 IT professionals. There's fewer than 200 professors. There's money to be made in this. The problem is, people get trained in this stuff and they immediately leave professorships. Dr. Shinoy's program has probably trained 200-300 people from at least 52 different schools. The one school who's actually doing something, participating in his grants and actually producing, that's Rose State College. There's like no one left because they get too much money. I had a guy call me sometime early this spring. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for a student who can do blah, blah, all this other stuff. Then I'm telling him, okay, let me see. He goes, okay, I'll be up front. I don't want to hire a student. I want to hire you. He said, I'm going to start you off at $84,000, guaranteed $25,000 raise or bonus at the end of the year. Isn't that awesome? That's like $109,000. But I get better time off here. And he goes, oh, that's for 8 to 5. Anything after 5 is overtime. I'm like, yeah, but I love being able to take vacations and talk to you guys. So, okay. Fewer K through 12 students are considering, they don't like math. They don't like science anymore. It's not cool. Okay. We did Gen Cyber where we trained 200 students from first grade to teachers. I'll tell you what, some of those people blew their minds on some of the stuff we taught them. They loved it. So hopefully, we had a girl in there with mild dyslexia. Y'all know what dyslexia is. She's homeschooled because she can't read right. We taught her basic cryptography, encryption. Oh my God, she loved it because the number, it's already jumbled up, which means she totally understood it. Now she was thinking straight. That kid, this was in June we did this. That kid, her mom just happens to work with my wife. Day 2, my wife goes to work and she goes, I don't know what the heck your husband taught there, but Mandy, that is all she's talking about ever since. She's in public school this year. Just because of that. So, hopefully we touched a few people. But, there's a problem. Kids don't want to get into it. We taught cryptography to first graders. They can do basic numbers. They can do really basic stuff. And it was a lot of fun. They enjoyed it. Yes, they did. Yes. Defense in depth. Okay. Technology, law, human capital. We need a lot of stuff involved here. You can't just buy the firewall. You have to know how to implement it and manage it and update it and secure it and all that.
And have your employees put in a good password instead of just hit enter.
Yeah. What the president's serious password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's crazy. Okay. The gym. This is a couple years ago. I went into the gym one day, beginning of a semester. They probably still do this, don't they?
I don't know. That's hilarious if they do.
That was in the gym. I walked in the beginning of the semester. All the locks had all the passwords written on them. Can you imagine if I just looked on the back, wrote down the serial numbers, wrote down passwords for each one, or just took a picture? That would have been awesome. What it was is because people check out lockers at the beginning of the semester, and they need to know so what they do is they just stick it on there. And you'd rent locker number 5. You could take the sticky note, and that's your locker now.
Most people would at least have the sense to put the sticky note on the back of the lock.
It's crazy. But literally, that was at our gym. Okay? Password storage. I use LastPass. It's good. You need something to manage your passwords. If you've never tried it, it's free. Try it. Okay? That's the end of lecture 1. We need to hurry up and do lecture 2.